everywhere I am, like even if I'm on the train, I will still produce music. My name is Princess Trium and I'm a music producer, artist and rapper. Princess Trium comes from one of the phones that I used to play when I was a little kid. And the name of the phone was Trium, which was another version of the little Nokias. And I used to waste loads of times playing on snakes on the phone. So that's why I decided to get my name from that, because basically it makes me feel like when I produce music, there's no time. I was being creative from when I was little young. I basically started having this conversation with myself and I asked myself, okay, what do you really want to do? I knew that music was my thing. Even my mom used to buy me like loads of CDs because music, it was my first love, you know. I remember that when I was a kid, I used to ask questions about my father, who he was. The only thing that they were telling me was that he was a musician, he was an artist, and he used to own a club in Rome. And I was like, wow, really interested by that. I used to sing in church, in quiet church. I used to do also musicals. And yeah, when I was in school, I decided to actually have a different approach with music. I started meeting new people that they were like guitarists, music producer, and we created this little community where we were all supporting each other and we were all doing music together. And I also had a rock band, which might sound crazy for someone like me because you would never expect that I was into rock music, but I used to have a rock band. But yeah, those ones were like really, really beautiful periods because I basically learned so much from all of these people. My style comes from different cultures. It's not just like who I am. I'm Nigerian, also Congolese, but I grew up with people from the Romania, Bulgaria, India, all these places that they gave me like something. And that something basically is who I am today, you know? Because at the end, working on your music is like working on yourself. It's like doing therapy session with yourself. So my signature, I can say, is word music. I love to put like lots of cultural music, especially Yoruba, Igbo sounds. And I love electronic music. I grew up in the era of like Bjork, people like Sophie. I love that metallic sound. It's something that I'm aiming to master more like into my music style. Even if producing is what I do, I find more interesting mixing music. You're basically handling the frequencies and where they're going and what they do to you. If I can touch your heart, if you can touch your soul, your emotions, if you feel happy, if you feel sad, that's something that I really like to work with. I use softwares like Rekordbox when I DJ music and Ableton for producing music. I love Ableton because it reminds me of Pro Tools when I used to go to uni and work with bands. I studied enterprise music production. I cracked the first version of FL Studio. Then when I got to university, they were complaining and they were like, oh, that's not music industry standard. The crazy thing is that right now, they're actually using FL Studio. So back in the days, they used to tell me that that was a music standard, but now they're allowing people to use FL Studio. When I self-taught myself, that was good, but there was a lot of things that were wrong the way I was doing them. One thing that I realized when I went to uni is that I really needed that experience. Because I used to be this type of person that was like, oh, I don't need this. But as a creative, I feel that it's really, really, really important that you go through your education system. If you're working with music, you're not working just with music from a superficial way. You're working with frequency. You can literally make a person feel ill if you're not working well with the frequency, you know? Actually, you need to take it seriously. Like if you're studying fashion design or if you're studying anything that's creative and you got the opportunity to have a mentor or even going to university, do that because you're cultivating something bigger inside of you and you're getting more knowledge. And that knowledge is gonna be useful like for you in the future. I usually create music in my own room, my bedroom, you can find. But you know what, sometimes I find it difficult because even if I'm in my own space, I really need to be outside to produce and to experience the world in general. I used to really love going out in nature just with my laptop and my portable keyboard. But like UK sometimes, actually not sometimes, it makes you miserable, especially for the weather. So I'm trying to find like other ways to cope. And I try to finish the ideas everywhere because everywhere I am, like even if I'm on the train, I will still produce music. At the end, creativity comes out of you in the most unexpected ways. You can even be in bed at 3 a.m. in the morning with your creative ideas going on. And so what you do about the time? Are you gonna sleep or are you gonna wake up and just put them down? And that's what I do. Like, I'm just gonna wake up and put them down. So yeah, being a creative isn't that easy, you know? Sometimes you won't even realize that you're in a mental block. You will just start thinking all negative things about yourself, this feeling of not being enough. It goes and it comes and it goes away. Sometimes music can be like overwhelming. And there's been a period that I stopped even listening to music. So I kind of put my focus into gym, cooking, gardening. I just wish that people would stop in this like in a superficial way. All these activities that might be hobbies, they're really fundamental for yourself. If you don't do that, yeah, we definitely end up in a limbo of like not accepting who we are and not accepting ourselves. Right now, social media, from the way it puts you the perspective of like, you need to promote yourself, you need to do this, you need to release music. Every month, I feel it's putting like also that type of anxiety on creatives like myself. Music doesn't feel like music anymore. Especially with apps like TikTok or like Instagram, where we have 60-second short videos. The audience is automatically asking from artists the demand of having songs that are 2 minutes. But what can an artist say in 2 minutes? Unless it's something like funny or something that doesn't have no meaning, you know? The quality of the music used to be more tasteful, more niche. Right now, it's getting lost. So probably that's why I didn't even release music for quite sometimes, you know. It was a constant battle between myself, social media, and what I have to release. So many things need to change and people need to go back and be authentic instead of like showing things that they're not. Don't put yourself into debt just to show people that you're having like a villa on Instagram. What's the point of doing that? But you know what? I feel that with 2026, people will think more about authenticity a little bit more, especially with AI. People are starting to realize how AI is affecting the creative scene. And we have platforms like Sooner that basically are removing the essence of putting your feelings into not only music, but like even cinematography, photography, anything that is creative. AI is literally ruining that. We tend to focus too much on ourselves, while I feel that right now we just need to focus more on community and being there for the next person, you know. So it's always important to have like the right people around you, people that are genuine and that they love what they do. You never know the amount of ideas that can come out from being in a group instead of being solo, you know? So it's always best to be like with a group of people. And yes, I learned that in a hard way because group projects wasn't my thing. When you have minds that they don't align, it's gonna get hard to work together, you know? So it's always best to have like someone that not only that you look up to, but you also find things in common, you know? Now that I started working more on collaborations, I'm just trusting the process, because if you don't do that, then you will stress out the person that is working with you, and then you will stress yourself out, and then the result of what comes out is not even that good. I had to learn to detach myself from that feeling of like wanting something to be done now and just to wait for the right moment, because I know that when you're producing music, it takes time. Being a creative in the industry has been really hard for myself, especially at the beginning. I mean, the way I grew up is really on the community core, so it was really hard for me to find those type of people, especially in the industry, because I felt like anyone wanted something from someone, but they didn't want to actually to build something together. To navigate as a music producer in a male-dominated industry, you constantly get second guess about your qualities. Can you do this? Are you sure that you can do this? Bro, like I've been doing this for like 10 years, of course I can do this, you know? But don't get me twisted, these things happen even today, like I still get second guess. And I found my happiness when I can prove them that they are wrong, you know? It took me time to find my people, but I found my people, and now I can say that I'm at a good point where I know how to get myself respected when I enter a space. Because I was really juggling and be too nice to people sometimes. And being nice is alright, but not too much. You need to know how to balance these two things, you know? Because if you're not sure of your qualities, they can smell that. And the minute that they can smell that, they're gonna put you inside your head loads of insecurity, and you don't want that to happen. So being recognized by mainstream, especially nowadays, it depends from what type of audience are you trying to attract. But if I feel that I can attract the right people, I feel that that's really important, especially if you're trying to build a community. And I'm here to build a new community. Before, I think that it used to be more cool, like you're doing a party, you know that you can message 100 people, and you know that those 100 people, they will reply to you and they will come to your party, you know. But right now, it feels that everything is all surrounded by social media and all of the things. So my dream is to make my community Club Makumbali bigger. I want people to be in it, and if they need anything, they know they can count on that people. I want, like, basically create a family, you know, through music. I want people to think about the collectives. I got like a bigger picture for myself. We are in crisis. There's so many things happening right now, so it's really difficult to put things together just by yourself. So I feel that people right now are kind of more into doing collaboration with each other, join forces to create something bigger. When I'm thinking about the right collaboration and how it could elevate my work, I always think from a perspective of like what I could learn from that. I did a lot of collaboration recently that they were challenging for me, you know. They've been asking me to get in my feelings, to write some lyrics, and I'm like, who? Me? I hardly get into my feelings. I usually get in my feelings with the people that are closest to me. So I was like, oh, I really need to put this into a song. And it was challenging, and it was so liberating, putting like all my feelings there under pressure and under a deadline. Really open another world for myself. And I know that now it's gonna be easier for me to actually put these feelings into another music, in another song, you know? So platforms like Blkuzz, I feel that are really important, especially right now, because they give the opportunity for artists to actually collaborate. Not artists, but creatives in general. We used to have platforms like this, I remember when we started out after the pandemics, but we lost the essence of like being together and like actually communicating. Having platforms like Blkuzz, I feel that they push people more to be out there and to connect without thinking too much about like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the right people, I'm missing this. Like with Blkuzz, I don't feel that you miss anything. I feel like you got your whole team together. My dream project is actually completing the work that I started with Boss City, the music video. I actually got like a storyline for that, and I would really love to put that together, like music, art, and visuals all combined. So that's why I really want to collaborate with people that they love what they're doing, they're just passionate, because I know for sure that if we're going to work on the sequel of the Bossy, it's going to be a movie. It will be a movie, and that's what I'm looking for. I want people to take away from my work my passion. Even if I don't share many times, I'm really emotional. I want to be remembered for helping the community. I want to be remembered because I was there for people. I want to be remembered because my music helped people out. If I would start over, I would definitely not do anything differently. I don't know if you're into Dragon Ball, but like that's like evolution, the evolution of Goku, but I'm feeling myself like going through evolutions of like myself as an artist, you know? So I don't even feel that Princess Trium is gonna be forever my artist name. I take this like as a spiritual pathway more than like a musical pathway. Princess Trium was the name that was given to me at the beginning, but then there's gonna be a change and it's gonna be a different name, which I already know. I won't say that loud, but before I'm getting there, I feel that I need to do like more work with myself. I feel it's a matter of time before I become that butterfly. I definitely see myself being more in front of a camera. I love being in front of a camera. I love acting. I love I love everything. I'm trying to stand more like in front of a camera, learn more about like how do I look from certain angles. I always had problem with my body and how do I look. And the crazy thing is that when I work with videographers and like I work with other people, they're like, wow, you're so confident behind the camera. And I'm like, he actually took a lot to get there, you know? I'm not gonna lie to you. I grew up in Italy And yeah, because of my skin color, the way I look, also my hair, it was constantly like bullying. So it took me time to actually get out from there. When it comes to my creative passion, I feel like I can do everything. Even when I used to DJ first times, I didn't know how to use record bugs. I just jumped into it. I was like, let's do that. When I got to the club, that's where I found out that the equipment that they had, it wasn't even compatible with what I had. But you know what? I just enjoy myself and I just press button. But even by pressing button, that's where I learned how to do things. So the day that I stopped putting myself the obstacles and telling myself that I cannot do things because I don't have certain things, that's where I learned that I could actually do everything. If I want to dance, just go to the club. If I want to go music, I want to DJ, I can go downstairs. I got everything set up, you know? We are the ones putting ourselves boundaries when we want to do like something creative or like any type of hobbies, you know. I feel it's really important to just jump, do your things, find ways to do things, you know. Well, don't be afraid to ask people. What you can get is like a no, I don't know. But just ask, like if you want to do things, like you want to produce music, you can contact me and be like, hey, I want to produce music. Okay, let's go to the studio, you know. It's so easy, you know.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.